Okay, that should be rolling. Hi, my name is Tobias. I used Sean Studies in the fall of 2019 to the summer of 2020. Um, I knew I needed a tutor to start studying for the MCAT. I had taken the free diagnostic Kaplan, and I had not done well. Um, and I was overall pretty intimidated by the thought of taking the MCAT. I knew that the test was probably the most important test of my pre-med career. I knew that it would largely determine where I would apply to med school and where I would eventually end up going into med school. So I was very cognizant of that. And because of that, truthfully, I was overwhelmed. I didn't know where to start. I hadn't done any content review. I didn't even know, truthfully, the structure of the MCAT. I just knew it was important. So I was recommended Sean Studies from a friend who used Sean Studies as a pre-med in his organization. And multiple people had used it in that organization, and they all recommended it. So I ended up getting a tutor through Sean Studies, and I cannot say enough about how much it changed my perspective and how much it helped me when I was studying. So before I used Sean Studies, I didn't really know how to study. I didn't really know, what was high yield, what was low yield, what does that even mean? I just knew that people were freaking out about this one test, and that and that I was intimidated, and that I knew that I needed to do well, and I didn't even know how to start. So what really helped me was my tutor was able to break down the specific components of the test with me, and taught me not just how to study in the content review, but he was there for me throughout the whole process. Yes, I put in the work. Yes, I was the one doing the Anki cards every day. But having someone there for you to remind you that other people are going through it, that they have gone through it, that the feelings of dread, of just being absolutely terrified, those are normal. Most people go through those feelings. I think it would be rather odd to be a pre-med and to not have those feelings about the MCAT. So I was, from September to June, which is when I was going to, or May when I was going to take it, to June, which is when I actually took it, I was able to increase my score on my full lengths by 22 points. And yes, of course, that some of that is attributed to, being able to, name all the amino acids and the content review, et cetera, but it was also very much due to understanding how the MCAT works. And I learned that through Sean Studies and through my tutor. I really do not think that I would have done as well as I did on the MCAT without Sean Studies. Because the MCAT is more than just a content test. It's a thinking test. And you have to know what they're expecting of you. And Sean Studies really broke that down for me, and my tutor helped me work through that. So if you're considering Sean Studies for the MCAT or an MCAT retake or something like that, I highly recommend it. You should absolutely use Sean Studies to improve your MCAT score. Thanks for listening.